All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Wahara Kodash, double honors to apostles of great millstone, and salutations to your elect, which we ought to be. Now, it's your brother Hawaii from GMS Chicago. Got a quick little lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who bear the shame of looking like heathens, whose spirit bear witness that they are a child of the Heavenly Father. And the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world English calls Jehovah God. And the name of the Heavenly Son is Yahweh Shai, who the world English calls Jesus Christ, or Jesus Christos, or Yeshua, Yeshaya, Yahweh. Pretty much this lesson is going into the curses in Deuteronomy 28, verses 16 through 68 and stuff, and any extra and stuff, it's through the Spirit. And these curses and stuff lets you know who Israel is, man. It's a sign, and it's going to also tell you within these verses and stuff what we've been going through to shoot forth that sign, man. That we are the Israelites, that we are the Prince of the Power, that we are Yasharallah, which Yah meaning He, Shar, Prince, and Allah meaning power. Just Allah is a Hebrew word for power, man. We ain't no Muslims. We don't read the Quran. We read the Bible. That's what it is, And I'm going to start off with Deuteronomy 28:16 and 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments. That word commandments, the word madazawa, is the ma, the taza, the wa, and the ha, madazawa, which means commandment of man, commandment of the Most High, really commandment of the Most High. That's what it is. It says commandment, code of wisdom. The Lord love those that dwell with wisdom and stuff. But what wisdom? His wisdom. Because wisdom of wickedness is not wisdom at all. You can read that in the book of Maccabees. So the Lord loves those who follow his laws, his ordinance and stuff, because it shows obedience. It shows that you actually know who your power is, man. It says to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And what are the curses? Verse 16, it says, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Meaning that the city, this is Matthew chapter 13, verse 38. It says the field is the world. So there you go. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, meaning wherever you at, whatever province that you in. Whether you in the ghettos and stuff, or if you really or if you live in middle class and stuff, or if you got even if you live in higher upper class, even for your Kobe Bryants, your Michael Jordans and stuff, these your Lil Waynes and stuff. Guess what? They still underneath these curses, man. It says the good seed are the children of the kingdom. It says, but the tares are the children of the wicked. Now that's going into something else, because this goes into how there's Israelites like Herod. I mean, not Herod is not an Israelite and stuff, but there's heathens that look like Jakes, but really they're heathens. Like King Herod. King Herod was someone who looked like a Jake and stuff. But his mother was an Israelite, but his father was a heathen. And that's why we always quote Numbers 1:18 and stuff. You are what your father is. And another example of those who are heathens, but they look like us, is old girl. I forget her name and stuff. Carrie, Kaylee, whatever her name was and stuff. But the one who's like rich and upbeat. Stuck up nose and stuff. Hillary, there go her name. Her name was Hillary. Her father is a Edomite. You also got the two twins from sister. They also are heathens. Their father is Caucasian, but their mother is an Israelite. So they bear off features and stuff, but they're not Israelites at all. But going back to the lesson. It says, verse 16, it says, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field, meaning the world. So guess what? Israel was scattered to the four corners of the earth, and that's in verse 64. So guess what? It's going to be Israelites that's going to be all over across the world and stuff, and they still going to be underneath these curses. You're gonna have Israelites that also look like heathens and stuff, and they're gonna be wondering, it's like, well, I look like this person and that person and stuff. I look like all of them, whatever land that they're in, or whatever nationality that they resemble. And the thing is that it's gonna be like, why I'm going through all these hardships and whatnot and stuff, but I look like them. Why it's harder on me? Because you a Jake. You know what I'm saying? Verse 17, it says, "Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store." And meaning that if you got a family owned business and stuff, or you within the business and stuff, you're gonna find yourself where you're not really able to make enough revenue and stuff. You're gonna always see yourself in a struggling matter, man. And even if are making a little bit more and stuff, where it's a little bit satisfying and stuff, you can see the difference of how how short of a number and stuff can really be detrimental to you. This is this is high gag. Uh, I'll pass it. Here you go. Haggai 1:6. It says ye have sown much, bring in little. You do all this work and stuff, what I'm saying, but you only see a little revenue and stuff. You got all the different bills when it come down to family owned businesses and stuff, how you got to towards the building or the electricity and stuff, and your employees and whatnot, and you see that you really bringing in just a little bit and stuff when it come down to you. It says ye, the owner of the business, it says ye eat, but ye have not enough. You know what I'm saying? It says ye drink, but ye are filled with drink. It says ye clothe you, but there is none warm. It says that he that earneth wages to put in a bag with holes, man. And that's how it is, man. You got all these different bills. You always find yourself to make ends meet. You in a situation where you can't even make enough money to relax. Let alone if you have children and stuff. Hey, what's the saying of this world? I'm saying, of this day and age, this era, this queendom and stuff. If you have a child and stuff, then pretty much your life is over with. That's not how it's actually supposed to be, man. You're supposed to enjoy your children, without your life being to waste, man. Without your own personal recreation and stuff, man. A child shouldn't be looked at as a miscellaneous expense, man. you know so it's like wages earneth. Yeah, I'll read it. It says, and he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes, man. You making all this money, you doing all these hours and stuff, but it's going somewhere that it don't need to be. What I'm saying? It's going towards bills and stuff, or it's going towards necessary bills and stuff. You got a car note, you got a mortgage and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got child support, you got this, you got that. You know what I'm saying? You got all these different things and stuff. Where your money is going towards, and it shouldn't be, man. Because if you got a house and you got a land and stuff, that should be yours, and that's it. But within this queendom, we can't own the land. If you own the land, then it's gonna be a problem against Esau, man. Because he can't control you, or he can't continue to build you, man. We underneath these curses. This is Deuteronomy 28:18. It says, "Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land." You know what I'm saying? Fruit of thy body, meaning your children, man. Because it's going to continue. It says in the fruit. Continue. It says in the fruit of thy land. It says the increase of thy king. It says in the flocks of thy sheep. Not all Jakes, you know what I'm saying? It shows that it's going to be a struggle, man. That not all Jakes are going to be like Abraham and Lot, man, where they had so much and stuff that they had to separate, man. They had the cars closed. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no hoes, but they had wives, man. And on top of that, they also had sheep, which means an endless amount of money, because when it comes down to the wool, you can make anything, man. Clothing, clothes, cloths, covers, shoes, underwear, and it'll keep you warm, because wool keeps you warm, man. And then at the same time, if you had a lot of sheep and stuff, sheep is lamb meat as well, man. So you also for that abundance, you also had a lot of food, man. you know, and and it says also king and stuff, man. King meaning it's the word alap, the ad ala napa alap, which means cattle or oxen, and cattle are usually used to farm, man. So you had your vegetation, you had your meat, and you had your vegetables and stuff as well, man. Whatever you grew, but that's gonna be cursed, meaning that it's not gonna be enough. That's gonna dwindle. Like what's happening now when they come down to these different you got Grim Survival and stuff, and he goes out to these fields and he shows how the corn and the soybeans and stuff are being at ruin, man. And that's the curse that's placed upon us. Verse 19, it says, "Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out." Comest in, when you come in, meaning when you born, when you enter into the matrix and stuff, right? What I'm saying? You already got a debt. Your birth certificate is the same paper that's used when it come down to bank statements and checks, man. You know, you already got a debt that's placed upon you when you were a child, when you were a newborn, man. You know, and it says, "Cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out," because when you die and stuff, you got to you got to pay the morgue. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay all the different services and stuff. Because Esau, the so-called Caucasians, they made it illegal for you to even just bury your own siblings or your family and stuff within the dirt. You gotta do a whole service and stuff. And Jake don't have money like that. Jake is slipped up on loans. Jake is paying, gotta get loans and stuff, or gotta save money for another cause and stuff, and then use that for these sudden things, man. It says and then when you go out and stuff, what tends to happen is like, well, if that guy didn't, if the one that died and stuff didn't have enough money saved up just so he can cover all the expenses and stuff, it goes towards the rest of the family, man. Because somebody got to get paid. That's horrible. Verse 20, it says, the Lord Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke. It says, in all that thou settest thy hand onto for the doom, it says, until thou be destroyed. So vexation and stuff, when it come down to these jobs and stuff, you got your boss being on your ass and stuff, being on some bullshit, you ain't doing nothing wrong and stuff, but he just want to fuck with you. You got other members and stuff, you doing your job and stuff, and they over here trying to find some type of way to get you fired and stuff, or give you a hard time and stuff because your boss is highlighting you and stuff, knowing that if he highlights you and stuff, then more than likely the other workers and stuff is going to be on some bullshit with you just to cause you some trouble. You know what I'm saying? It says until thou be destroyed. It says until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings whereby thou hast forsaken me. So since we forsaken the Lord and stuff, this is all the punishments that the Lord had put upon us, man. It says the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, roaches. You get you a house and stuff, and it's infested with roaches, so it's infested with rats and stuff, or mice, or flies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You over here spending like $800 to $900, damn near $1,000 and stuff for a house that ain't worth shit, man. It says until he had consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. And what's that consumption? It's talking about until you die, man. You got Israelites that's living in homes and stuff where they got to deal with ants. They got to deal with roaches. They got to deal with rodents. They got to deal with all these different types of pestilences, you know what I'm saying? And they deal with it until they die, man. It says, verse 22, it says, the Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever. Now, when you go into that word consumption, it's the word shachapath. Shachapath is the shadachadapa and the tha shachapath, which means consumption, wasting disease, a wasting disease of the lungs. You know what I'm saying? And what's another wasting disease? AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Autoimmune, when you got a disease that attacks your body and stuff and literally devours it from the inside out, man. Which is all created, man. It wasn't created by no monkeys having sex with monkeys and stuff, because Jake wasn't trying to have sex with the animals, man. It was Esau that was doing that. Esau was the one who brought up bestiality, man. And it says and with fever and with inflammation and with extreme burning. It says, and with the sword, the string burning, man. You know what I'm saying? You piss, you got gonorrhea. You know, you got all these different diseases and stuff. When you piss and stuff, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? You got a urinary tract infection, all these different infections and whatnot and stuff. Just that hurts. They give off a burning sensation. You know, it says, and with the sword, it says, and with blasting, and when you go into that word blasting, it's blighted or blasted thing. Oh, so like it's the word shada pawan. It's the sha, the da, the pa, and the wa, shada pawan, which means it says blight of crops. It says blasting, blight, and that's going into boils, I believe. It says, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. It says, in thy heaven that is over thee, over thy head shall be brass. You know what I'm saying? And the earth that is under thee shall be iron. Going into how you're gonna be stuck in a hard place, man. You know how it's gonna be hell wherever you go, man. You know. Verse 24, it says, the Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. And you see that when it come down to the rain, when it rains outside and it lands on your car and stuff, you see dirt after it dries up afterwards, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the bromine, you got the different chemicals and the aluminum and the microform and stuff, you know, and all the different other chemicals that's within that and stuff. And what happens when it come down it raining, man? You see you see dirt. And you could tell that it was from water droplets and stuff, but it's dirt in there, you know what I'm saying, when it dries up, you know? And that's what our rains consist of, all the different pollution and stuff that's within the world and stuff. That's how it be, man. And it says, in the earth that is under thee shall be iron. We walking upon concrete, you know, feet hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because when you walk in the grass, you can actually tell the difference. Because when you walk in concrete or hard floors or marble and whatnot, you know, of any rock that's flattened out and stuff, what happens is that every time you make a step and stuff, the ground doesn't absorb it. It actually shots back into your joints. You know, it reflects it back into your joints and stuff, and your joints wear out because of this, man. That's why you when it comes down to factory jobs, they gotta stand on rubber mats and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just so their feet can feel better or their joints can feel better. Because when you stand and you walk for hours and hours upon this hard rock and whatnot, it goes back into your joints. The shock wave hits your joints and stuff, and it actually hurts you, man. It wears down your joints and stuff, you know. And that's why you got Jakes that's out here with canes, you know what I'm saying, with walkers and stuff, you know. Or they got bad backs and stuff, you know, because this hard floor, you know what I'm saying, or the cement walkways and stuff. It actually takes a toll on your body, man. You know, it says from heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. Read it again. It says, the Lord shall make the rain in thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. Meaning that when we die, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's going to be, because this is not our rest. Micah 2:10. That's what it clearly tells you. And I'm going to grab that. This is Micah. Chapter 2, verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. And that's what's going on, man. Everywhere you go and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's for destruction. This lifestyle that people consider as a lifestyle, which really is a death style and stuff. You know, it's all to afflict you and bring you in pain, man. Not to help you, not for you to prosper and stuff. You got that old saying, a man's heaven is another man's hell. Well, guess what? Esau's heaven, which is this is his kingdom and stuff. It's in the heathens, this is their kingdom. You know, they're able to prosper within this wickedness and stuff that they promote. But the thing is that it's actually a demise when it comes down to the nation of Israel, man. You Negroes, Latinos, and Natives, man, of all 12 tribes, man. You know, and it says, verse 25, it says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. It says, thou shalt go out one way and against them. Now, when it comes down to the Roman, it's like it says, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. When it comes down to the Roman persecution, when it came down to 70 AD, what tended to happen is that it was a lot of Israelites that was able to actually get away and stuff when it came down to that persecution and the killings and the slaughtering. You know what I'm saying? That they went into different they went into the Atlas Mountains, they went into Africa and stuff, they went into different kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the newly version and stuff. You know what I'm saying? On today's version and stuff is when the police come and you got Jake, they spread out to different several ways, man, and stuff. Just so they can keep their freedom, man. You know, it's all still the same, man. You know, because when you fled, you know what I'm saying, you went into another country and stuff. You ain't try to flee somewhere that was in the same land and stuff where you could easily get caught because you was looking for freedom. You know, especially if somebody trying to chase you down and stuff and put you to death, right? Verse 26. It says, verse 26. It says, "And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the earth, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away." Meaning that nobody was gonna try to it's like shoo, you know, that's my mother, or shoo, that's my father, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my cousin, that's my niece, that's my nephew, that's my uncle, that's my auntie. They wasn't gonna flee it away, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, them birds was gonna eat. They was gonna devour your flesh. The vultures, when they come around dead carcasses, man. You know, or seagulls, because seagulls are actually scavengers and stuff, man. You know, and then when it come down to the pigeons nowadays and stuff, since they not really getting no meat, no food like that and stuff, they'll eat a person. You know what I'm saying? Because they already cannibalistic, man. You know, this is Jeremiah 16. So I can bear with me. It's like it seems like I can't find it right now. Yeah, I can't find it right now, but pretty much in the book of Jeremiah, either 15 or 16 chapter, it goes into how the animals shall devour thee, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, verse 27, Deuteronomy 20 and 27, it says, "The Lord shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt." You know what I'm saying? Botch is the bull. It's the word shachayan, the shah, the cha, the na, the ya, and the na, shachayan. And it says boil, inflame, spot, inflammation, this eruption, this you know, when you have boils, the zits and stuff, you know what I'm saying? What Job had went through, ulcers, and they give off a fiery flame or a filling and stuff. It's just that with the hemorrhoids, and stuff, which you could also get from sitting on the toilet for too long. It says, or pulling up something that's real heavy and stuff. It says, and with the scab and with the itch, and what's the itch? The itch is the clap. When you get crabs, it says, whereof thou canst not be healed. And even though it is possible of it being healed, the thing is that it got to be the Lord's will for that to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you can take whatever treatment that you want to and stuff. You can be like old boy and stuff with the jail off Bad Boys, off Blue Streak and stuff, how he was putting his hands in his pants and using that gel and stuff just to relieve his pain and stuff, or relieve the itch and stuff, and still shaking people's hands and stuff, acting like they didn't know what was going on. But the thing is that something like that and stuff, it's still here today. The clap, clap is when it itch down there and stuff. And I ain't talking about no sweat, it's when you actually got an actual condition and stuff, not no sweat dripping down your sensitive areas and stuff where it feels itchy and stuff. No, because you feel something moving. No, I'm talking about when you actually got that clap. It says, and then back then, Jake didn't know what this was. It says, verse 28, it says, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Our people follow a death style and stuff and think it's actually life, man. You got jakes out there that say if eating pork is wrong, I don't want to be right. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing about pork and stuff is that since they sanitation of the earth, all they do is fill themselves with parasites and stuff. A lot of people want foods that's grass fed and stuff. Why? Because they know what they eating. You know what I'm saying? They know that if they eat it and stuff, nothing bad would happen to them and stuff. But when it come down to pork, pork is not grass fed. They feed it with cornmeal and whatnot and stuff. And I forget what year it was, but it was a while back. Well, when it came down to prisoners, like prisoners in Alcatraz and whatnot and stuff, when it came down to those prisoners, all they did was feed them like cornbread and certain meats, and they started developing malaria and stuff because they was malnutrition in certain other areas. And that's the same way when it come down to pigs. Pigs don't eat grass. They don't naturally eat grass. They eat filth. You know what I'm saying? You know, if they boo-boo everywhere and stuff within their pens and stuff, that's what they'll eat because their job is sanitation, to clean up. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way with catfish. It's the same way with crabs. It's the same way with lobster. It's the same way with shrimp. You know? They clean the filth. It's the same way with clams and mussels and stuff for you people that eat that seafood and that shellfish. You know what I'm saying? You know, crawfish and stuff. It's the same way. They eat the filth. You know what I'm saying? So it's in your body and stuff. And what does it do? It deteriorates and causes your organs to malfunction and defunction, man. You know, it brings your body down. It doesn't make your body healthier. You know, and that's the reason why people so sprung up and they lead upon or they lean upon foods that needs to be grass fed and not fed with probiotics and stuff or antibiotics and stuff. You know, there's a reason for that. Think about it. You know, and for the ways of this world and stuff, you know, our people are blind. They just go for it. Verse 29, it says, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. And our people are doing that, man. It says, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, because our people, 2/3 of our people of Israel, the ones that's not woken up yet, that's already elect, that's what they follow the ways of the world and think that is good, man. Woe to you that call good evil and evil good, man. You know, and that's what's going on, man, because it's actually destroying them. It's destroying them. It's not helping them. It's not making them more beneficial and stuff. It's not doing anything great for them. You know what I'm saying? It's really just destroying them. You know, like if you go to college and stuff, right? To get a degree, the word degree means to downgrade. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean to upgrade. And it literally, the definition of that word degree, meaning the downgrade, it actually fulfills its purpose. Because what happens? You got somebody that's going in there trying to be a doctor, you know what I'm saying, or a certain type of physician or something, or some high level worker and whatnot, and then you see them at McDonald's and stuff. Why? Because they downgraded, man. They downgraded from what they was actually going to school for in the first place, man. You know? You're seeing that Burger King and whatnot, flipping burgers and stuff. You know, trying to make ends meet in low income jobs, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what a degree is. It means to downgrade, man. And that's what majority of the people do now. There's some that get into those fields and stuff, but it's rare, man. You know? This is verse 29 again. It says, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. Our people don't even know what's going on. They lost. So they can easily be persuaded and stuff, you know, not knowing right from wrong and stuff, because the wrong they actually think is right, and then when the right they actually think is wrong, man. You know, so they easily persuaded. It says, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. It says, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. And what is that? Stockholm syndrome, man. A lot of our people, what do? They want to sit up here and follow after Esau, Edom and stuff, but his ways is contrary to the Bible. But yet you have the zeal to follow the Bible and stuff, but not according to knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You had a zeal, you want to do right and stuff, but you want to do the ways according to Esau, and Esau's ways are built up just to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? You know, the mans don't even care about his own nation and stuff, and they also being destroyed. He want to kill us so bad. He want to kill the nation of Israel so bad and stuff, and kill us off so bad and stuff, that he also killing himself by poisoning the air, the water, the food. You know what I'm saying? The mines. You know what I'm saying? All that's happening to his own nation and stuff. He ain't trying to build this nation. He's just trying to kill us. You know? And look what he doing. What's the back burner of it? You know what I'm saying? What's the drawback? What's the after effect of it? That he also messing up his own nation, man. You know? It says, It says, verse 30, it says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. And what is that? That word lie is the word shakab. It's the shadaka and abah, shakab, which means to lie down, to lie of sexual relations. You know what I'm saying? And what is that? Adultery, man. Adultery. This is Leviticus, I think what is it, 20 and 13? I don't know. I'm thinking that. Right. Nope, nope, no, this ain't it. Leviticus 20 and 14, it says, and if a man take a wife well, this is wicked too. If a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. You know, and you're not supposed to sleep with a, you know, you can't get the mother and the daughter at the same time and stuff because it causes confusion within the family, man. You know, the one I was looking for. Leviticus 20 and 10, it says, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and adulteress shall surely be put to death. So look, it says, I'm gonna read again. It says, and the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, plain, another man's wife. When it came down to Joseph, Joseph said that he wouldn't commit adultery against Pharaoh. Pharaoh is not underneath the law. You know what I'm saying? But he still understood that he would have been committing adultery for sleeping with another man's wife, because that's what it is. So just for you jakes out there who be like, well, the heathens, they're not underneath the law and stuff, so I could have sex with his wife and stuff. It's like, no, you can't, because guess what? You'll still be going off. You'll still be going against the Lord. You still be going against what he had ordained for you to do, man. You know, and it says even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife. So it was kept specific. You know, it was like with any man's wife, and then even with your neighbors. What's a neighbor of Israelite, another Israelite, man? It says the adulterer and adulteress shall be put to death. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's the punishment for it, man. You know, and to bring this out, you know, because that's for the man, right? This is Romans chapter 7, starting at verse 1. It says, know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law. It says how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth. It says, for the woman which have an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband, right? It says, so then if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, because what is marriage according to the scriptures? Marriage is to have sex. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, if you like it, put a ring on it. No, it's not that at all. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's when you have sex. And that's why the scripture says that we are adulterous generation, because Esau has taught us that that the man can deal with other men's wives and stuff. You know what I'm saying? If she throwing and she going after it and stuff, and also taught the women to make them think that it's okay for them from bouncing around from rod to rod, man. You know what I'm saying? Making them adulterous, because Esau's objective is to get you to go off according to the Lord, because he's the one who wants the blessing. You know, so he's trying to take it away, but he can't do it. You know, regardless. It says verse 3 again, it says, so then if while her husband liveth she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from the law, so that she is not no adulteress, though she be married to another man. You know what I'm saying? So for all you women and stuff that dealt with a dude and stuff, you know, and you're adulterers and stuff. Now it was Esau and stuff that made you think that you wouldn't be considered adulterous. You know, that it is okay and stuff. He's the one who sent you off. You know what I'm saying? You know, and in the same way for you guys and stuff, to thinking that it's like, even though she throwing at it and stuff, you over there lusting at another man, you know, hey, another man's woman and stuff. Hey, even if you think about lusting over another man's woman, why, if you know or not, you still went off. You know what I'm saying? But it's a big difference between knowing and unknowing. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know and stuff, you can get a pass. But if you do know and stuff, then that's when you're gonna be seeking mercy from the Lord like a motherfucker and stuff, because you don't know if He's gonna forgive you for that willful sin that you did, man. You know, and the Lord is merciful. It says, "It's such as His majesty, so is His mercy and stuff." But don't take it for granted. Don't be like, "Well, He's so merciful, so I'm gonna do this and do that and stuff," and find yourself not being forgiven. You know, so just keep that in mind. There's another scripture just to bring it out. It's Sirach chapter 20, 23. 23. Yep, it's 23. It says, right, this is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in Apocrypha chapter 23, verses 22. It says, "Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband." It says, "And bringeth in a heir by another, meaning having children." It says, "For first she have disobeyed the law of the Most High, which is adultery, a woman having sex with another man, even though she got a man already, a boyfriend, or somebody she talking to and stuff to deal with it in that way." You know what I'm saying? You know, or sexually active with and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, guess what? You already married to that man and stuff. So guess what? If you deal with another dude and stuff, you transgress against the Most High. It says, and secondly, it says she have transgressed against her own husband. So guess what? You committed iniquity. Iniquity goes back to the Hebrew word iwan, the I, the one, and I, which means to power sin upon sin. So now you ain't just do one sin, you did two. You know what I'm saying? In one deed. It says, and thirdly, she had played the whore in adultery. So you did three things. It says, and brought children by another. It says, she shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall she be made of her children. Her children shall not take root. Her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to be known as whore. The anime called The Shield Hero, or The Rising of the Shield Hero and stuff. You had this one female and stuff, and she literally, even though she ain't played a whore and stuff, but she was being seductive and she used it. She was a persuader, and she misused the shield hero and stuff, and then got with the spirit hero and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, when she was about to be put to death, and she was a pathological liar, when she was in the midst of being put to death and stuff, her name was to be called whore. She was going to be called whore, you know, and that's the name. And that's and back then in the ancient days and stuff, to be called a whore and stuff was very, very shameful. These bitches don't even care nowadays. They don't care about being called hoe or bitch, this, that, and the third, unless it's a man doing it and stuff. But they, hey, ho, that's my bitch right there and stuff. They don't even fucking care, you know, and that's cursed. They she shall leave her memorial to be cursed. You know what I'm saying? What's her memorial? That she committed adultery, that she has sinned, that she a whore, she a hoe, she a bitch, she a slut, she a rod rider. You know what I'm saying? You know, it says, and her reproach shall not be blotted out. Meaning it's gonna carry on wherever you go. Everybody gonna know you as being a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women and stuff, like strippers and whatnot, and prostitutes, you know, they deal within areas and stuff that they're not known and stuff, man. You know, because of the shame that comes with it, man. You know? 27 says, and they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of the Lord. It says, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of the Lord. It is a great glory to follow the Lord, and to be received of him is long life. You know what I'm saying? You know, because guess what? Guess what came with all this whoring and stuff, man? It came diseases, and it spread aeration of these diseases, man. You know, a woman wouldn't have to worry about competition if she just leaned upon her husband, man. You know, she wouldn't have to worry about being jealous. You know, well, even though the jealousy of a woman is another woman and stuff, but if it was still within its righteousness and stuff, because you think Sarah was actually having a problem when she gave her handmaid, which was another woman, but her slave and stuff, onto Sarah to Abraham to go smash. You know what I'm saying? You think Rachel was having a problem and stuff. She was just having a problem because she couldn't bear no children. You know what I'm saying? She felt like she was useless, like she didn't have no purpose and stuff. And that's gone when it come down to our women, you know. But she gave her handmaid, you know what I'm saying, over to Jacob and stuff just so he can smash. You know, women ain't doing that, man. You know, women ain't doing that at all right now, man. You know. So verse 30 again, it says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. It says, thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. You know what I'm saying? We doing all this work and stuff, but we ain't getting the credit. You know, the railroads, you know what I'm saying, peanut butter, the traffic light, the washing machine, the bicycle and stuff. All those things was created by Jake and stuff, but we ain't getting the credit. When it come down to Thomas Edison and stuff, who is known for creating the light bulb, really it was a Jake, it was an Israelite who those little wires that's in the middle and stuff that actually light up the light bulb. He's the one who actually created it. You know what I'm saying? But Thomas Edison is the one who actually gets the credit for building it, which he didn't even build it, man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't the one who made it work, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a Jake, and the credit is being taken over. And it's the same way to this day. We're the ones that's working in these big old factories, that's doing these jobs and whatnot. But these high-end bosses and stuff, they're the ones who's getting all the credit, like they doing the work out there themselves when really they not, man. You know? It says it says it says thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. It says thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. It says thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. And it's a picture you can see it on Google, where you have an Edomite standing on a pile of heads of bison, man. You know what I'm saying? And it was the Native American Indians and the Semio Indians and stuff, the Gadites and the Reubenites, who who didn't like just overly massacre the buffaloes and the beef in that area and stuff. What they did was is allow them to migrate and to also accumulate and stuff so they can have an endless amount of food, man. You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to Esau, he just slaughtered everything, man. You know? And you can see that off the movie off Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner, how you had the cavalry, I believe it was the cavalry in the blue suits, how they was just slaughtering everything and stuff and just taking the skins, you know, so they can make purchases and sales and make clothes and whatnot, but killing off all the buffalo and stuff in a Gadites, because that's really what it was. It was the Gadites, how they had to maneuver over different areas and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can find more food. They had to migrate, man. You know, and come into collisions with different Indians and stuff, man. You know. It says, thine eyes shall be violently taken away from before thy face. And that's happening, man. It says, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. That word rescue is the word Yeshai, the Yah, the Shah, and the I, means to save, to be saved, to be delivered. So Gadites, Native American Indians and stuff, and Semio Indians, which are the Reubenites and stuff, their food was being taken away, man. You know, and they couldn't do anything about it, man. You know, because what they came up against us, they had the Gatling gun, which was named after something Gatling, whatever his fucking name was and stuff, an Edomite and stuff, which he had to use because it was the Gadites who actually created guerrilla warfare, which the army used till this day, man. You know what I'm saying? Guerrilla warfare was made by the Gadites, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew how to move in and out and stuff when it came down to the trees. You know what I'm saying? We had bow and arrows, and we were so good when it came down to our surroundings and stuff and how we used our weapons, because it's Gad, Manasseh, and Reuben that was actually named the warriors within all the 12 tribes and stuff, whose talent was within that area and stuff. Where our moves and our different things and stuff, our different tactics and stuff are being used within the army till this day. So they copied us, man. You know, we the salt of the earth, like the scripture says, man. You know, and they trying to claim our salt, man. But It says, thine ass, meaning a donkey, shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thy enemies, and thou shalt have no rescue to them. And I forget what movie, but it's a movie where you have Gadite and the Edomite and stuff, pretty much like the pilgrims, so-called pilgrims and stuff, or the new settlers and stuff, and they like, they trying to make a deal. It's like, give me your land and stuff, and Gadite like, it's not yours and stuff. And then you had the Edomite and stuff talking about some, we'll kill you and your family and stuff if you don't give us this land and stuff, man. And that's how they did it, man. This is the Baffler declaration and stuff is a bunch of bullshit just to get our land, man. This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. It says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. Talking about robbing, man. And they was not spoiled because Gad wasn't trying to look for anything that Esau was trying to give. You know what I'm saying? Esau was the one who was trying to give to Gad and stuff. And Gad was like, no, we cool, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It says, and dealers treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Gad ain't try to come up against you. It was you, Christopher Columbus, you Edomite. You know what I'm saying? You so-called Jewish, you so-called Israeli. You know what I'm saying? Who had 5 Hebrew interpreters, but yet you want to say that you discovered America and stuff, but you knew that the land was already inhabited to this day. You want to colonize like this North American and all Central American and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? In Southern America, and we was the ones that was over here in the first place. It was the Israelites that was here in the first place. You used the Bible just so you could sit up here and find this land in the first place, man. You know what I'm saying? You had dealt treacherously with us, man. You know what I'm saying? Giving the Gadites smallpox and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Moonshine and stuff, because you the king of handicap matches, man. You know what I'm saying? You the type of dude where like if you play a video game, say if you play Tekken or any type of a fighting game and stuff, your homie and stuff, he like, I gotta go to the bathroom, so you whoop his ass until he's like the last little bit of health and whatnot, and it's either two ways. You're gonna either throw the punch where it's gonna be that KO blow and stuff, and you're gonna pause it, you know what I'm saying, or you're gonna be one of those where the little bit of health is there, and you're gonna wait. And your man's come back and stuff, and he wondering why he's being taken down by one punch. That's you. That's you Edomites. That's how y'all act, man. That's how y'all be, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't fight straight up, man. Even though it's some mighty men about you and stuff, the thing is that you all are on that weak shit, that bogus ass shit. You know what I'm saying? King of handicaps, like I said, right? It says, when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall treacherously deal treacherously with thee. And it also says in Genesis, the 49th chapter, that Gad shall be overcome by a troop, but Gad shall, but a troop shall be overcome. Let me just to make sure I said it right. Genesis 49. I think it's 14. Yeah. Verse 19, it says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but shall overcome at the last. And that's what's going to happen, man. All 12 tribes going to overcome at the last, because you inflicted all 12 tribes, man. With your globalism. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail. And what's that given? Back in the slave days and stuff, when we was picking cotton and stuff, you'll separate the families, you'll grab the children and stuff. Black Friday goes back to how the slaves was how the slaves were sold for cheap, served for a discount and whatnot, which you still have this day in memorial of how it was back in the days and stuff. You was taking our sons and our daughters and sending them to other plantations and stuff where they had to serve and start new families and stuff, and see their own children go through the same thing. Not ever able to see their parents again and not see their families again. And you do that till this day, man. You got a DCFS or DHS, whichever one, Department of Human Services, Child Protection and stuff. You taking their children away, saying that the parent is not eligible to parent their children. You know what I'm saying? You can't discipline your child and stuff without some nosy ass neighbor talking about, I don't like what's going on and stuff, and call the authorities, and then next thing you know, they come through and take your children away, messing up families and stuff, you know. Yeah, put them in foster cares and stuff, and you giving them over to families that look at them as just some money or a check and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't care for the child and stuff, mistreating the child, you know. The child tell you that the foster parents that you give them up to and stuff is treating them bogus and stuff, and yet you look at them as crazy, or they don't know what they talking about, and they want to go back to their parents, and you say that their parents are not good enough parents and stuff to teach their children or be around their children, their own children. You know what I'm saying? It's still to this day, man. You know, it ain't never changed, man. And you got to pay for those things, man. It says, verse 32, it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, you know, being put on different plantations. It says, thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. We can't do nothing against y'all, you know. You got men and you got husbands and you got fathers and mothers and stuff that really go to the death and stuff with with the authorities and stuff, with DHS, DCFS, whichever ones, you know what I'm saying, or CPS, which is Child Protective Services and stuff. Hey, they go to the death and stuff. They'll bring out their guns and they double barrels and whatnot and shoot you down just to keep their kids, because they don't want their kids being taken away from them, man. You know, especially if it's lies being placed upon them, thinking that they not fit to be a parent. Who is you to decide? This ain't even your child, man. This ain't even your property. You know, because when it come down to it, it's the man's property, man. Who are you to say that what was taken out of him or what was shot out of him and stuff for you to claim to be yours so you can put it through the system? And it's not even yours, man. You know, that's stealing, man. That's straight stealing, man. You straight being a thief. This society and stuff is a thief, man. Like it says in John 10:10, the thief coming, the enemy come not but to kill, steal, and destroy, man. And he's stealing, man. He's stealing your children. Not just your money, he's stealing your children too, man. You know, and that's bogus, man. You know, the Lord ain't dealing with that shit, man. You know, but this is the curses that the Lord had put upon us because we disobeyed him. You know what I'm saying? But it also is a sign to let us know who the Israelites actually are. You know? It says, verse 33, it says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Don't you see that? You know? You putting in all these houses and stuff, but then they take the taxes out and stuff. You know? And according to the elder Malcolm, the head of my camp in GMS Chicago, you know what I'm saying? His page is Malcolm, you know, Chaah. You know what I'm saying? If you want to watch, you know, man's heavy in the history and stuff, which the Edomites hate him and stuff because he be putting the history in the scriptures together, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible is the history of the Israelites and stuff, but then when you use regular celestial, I think it's celestial, or I think it's called I think the word is celestial history, but it's not that. It's another one that's Celtic or celestic history and stuff. It matches up with the Bible to show further proof, man. That's why they hate him. You know, and there's other brothers, you know what I'm saying, that's heavy in history and stuff, you know. It's a brother that's above him, you know what I'm saying, you know, with the apostles and stuff who know the history like that, man, you know, and they hate him for it, man, you know. That's why they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible instruction group, you know what I'm saying, because the Bible instruction group took 14 books out of the Bible and stuff that further proves who Edom is, man, who your enemies are, you know. That goes into specific names and stuff that you can actually look up, man. You know? It says, verse 34, it says, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see, because we don't have no power. We can't do anything in this society and stuff. We can't go out and grab our kids and stuff. You over here saving your kids, but then you being put to jail and you still being separated from your kids, man. You know, it says, well, for your children. I ain't gonna say kids. A kid mean goat. You know what I'm saying? Kid is a sacrifice and stuff. Children, man. It's a lucky. Verse 35, it says, the Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with with a sore botch that cannot be healed for the sole of thy foot onto the top of thy head and stuff. Talking about different diseases, man. Skin diseases, lesions and stuff, man. You know, psoriasis, you know what I'm saying? You know, boils and stuff, different burning sensations and stuff. You know, keloids and stuff, man. You know, and then also being smitten in the knees and the legs. It's talking about people being on canes and walkers, man. You see that in Jake. You know, you see a lot of women and stuff where they got to bend over just to walk straight, man. You know. Verse 36, it says, the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee. You know what I'm saying? King, even King David is going through these situations, man. You know, he's an Israelite. He's also brought low. You know, it says unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. It says, and thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone, man. You got the Gadites, they worship the I forgot what it's called. Is the totem pole, the water Yahweh, the totem pole with the different animals and stuff, and they worship the animals and stuff because of different abilities that they have and stuff. The hawk spirit, the wolf spirit, the lion spirit, you know what I'm saying? The penguin spirit and stuff, man. You know, the wind spirit, the tree spirit and stuff, man. You know, it says verse 37, it says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. Negroes, niggas, you know what I'm saying? Spics, Latinos, Latins, Spanish, you know, red niggas, tree niggas, apple niggas, you know what I'm saying? Redskins, you know, beanies, man, you know, for the Mexicans, because they like to eat beans. Protein, who cares? But look, they call them beanies, man. You know, slick backs, wet backs. You know, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Native American Indian period, indigenous Indians, Semio Indians, El Salvadorians, being named after your land, man. You know, Ecuadorians and stuff, man. Guatemalan, you know, Haitian, fucking West Indies, which is Benjamites, but West Indians, Trinidadians, Bolivians, I believe, but I think that's Asher. Argentinians, Jamaicans, you know, Argentinians, Chileans, Philippines, people from Panama, you know, Peru. You know, we called all these different names except for what we actually are, the 12 tribes of Israel and the Israelites, period, man. You know, there you go. It says, verse 38, it says, thou shalt carry much seed out into the field and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Look at the time of Pharaoh, man. You know, they got how the Lord had brought the locusts and ate up all their livestock, man. You know, not the livestock, but when it come down to the plants and the vegetation and stuff, they corn and everything ate it up. And it's the same way today. The farmers, they got to put pesticide and stuff up onto the food. That's why when you get the food and stuff, you see it's a little wax and stuff on the cucumbers and stuff. You got to scrape it off. You know, a lot of people don't even actually know and stuff, but they got to put pesticides upon it. And really, that's why you got to wash your vegetables as soon as you get them from the grocery store. You would think that they'll be fresh already and stuff, but you got to clean them again. And it's because not just because people put their hands on it to see if it's firm or is it good enough or it's, like old fashioned women and stuff. They go by the feel and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They don't just look at it and be like, oh, that's a good cucumber and stuff. No, they feel for it and stuff. They got to touch a hand and stuff. Besides just doing that and stuff, you got to clean it off because they put pesticides just so the insects don't, so the insects can be killed if they try to eat it, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, it says, thou shalt carry much seed out into the field and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. You know what I'm saying? So if they ain't put their pesticide on it still, them fields would be devoured, man. I think it was down there in the land of Arabia, I believe, where you had all those locusts and stuff, which the scriptures also prophesied about how it's going to be a bunch of locusts and stuff, and they're going to be covered the earth, man. And it was a picture where it was like locusts that was covering whole people's cars, all the signs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like how Jake say they came in deep. They came in deep, man. They was deep as hell, man. They was so deep that you couldn't see the ground, man. You know, you was in the midst of more than a swarm, man. Verse 39, it says, thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat it. It says, thou shalt have olive trees throughout all the coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thy olive shall cast its fruit. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity, man. And what's part of that captivity? This nowadays age captivity is that they out of their minds, man. They want to smoke, drink, do crack, opioids, heroin and stuff. They want to smoke weed out of their minds. They want to smoke this. They want to smoke that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do anything. They don't want no education. They just want to get high and feel good, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the captivity that's placed upon our young men and children. I mean, young men and women, man. That all they want to do is just feel good, even though it's killing them. Verse 42, it says, all thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locusts consume. It says, a stranger that is within thee, meaning the heathen, shall get up above thee very high. And you see that, man. When a heathen comes around, what do Jake do? They be like, right this way, sir. You know what I'm saying? Here's your pantaloons, sir. Here's your food, sir. Here's this, sir. Here's that, sir. Here's this, ma'am. Here's that, ma'am. But when the Jake come in and stuff, it's like, I think you're in the wrong place. I think you need to turn around. Security, You fucking coons that's working in these jobs, who kissing so much ass just so you can make a good enough paycheck, man. Fuck you, man. It says, the enslavement of our young people's minds. It says, and then older people's mind, because when they come out with that 50 is the new 40, 40 is the new 30 and stuff, it's to get older people in a young mind frame. That's why you got 40-year-olds still sagging their pants, still thinking they gangsters and shit, man. Still thinking they within high school or have a high school mentality and stuff, man. Who ready to blow some shit off and stuff because they still in the kiddie mind frame, man. That's part of that captivity as well. You enslave the mind, you enslave the ways and the beings of the people, man. Verse 42, it says, all thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locusts consume. I read this already. It says, verse 43, it says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. We the lowest, man. We the lowest. We're at the bottom. Salaki. This is Baruch in Apocrypha, chapter. Right. This Baruch chapter 2 and Apocrypha chapter 2, starting in verse 28, it says, and it says, as thou spakest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, if ye will not hear my voice, right? And who are the voice? The prophets, right? That's why the Lord has sent Moses, because he was sending Moses in his stead to give his message unto the nation of Israel, which he was of the nation of Israel. He was a Levite. It says, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. You know, stiff-necked. You know, why you sweating me? Who don't want to hear it? You know what I'm saying? It's going in one ear and out the other, who's not paying attention, who's not taking heed. You know what I'm saying? Dumbfounded. It says, but in the land of their captivities, meaning we're going to be slaves, they shall remember themselves. And that's what's going on, man. You know, these electronic epistles and stuff, they being remembered. But you also got 2/3 who's listening to this word and stuff, or hear about a word, or come across the word and stuff, and they just pass it up, man. You know what I'm saying? So they can be furthermore enslaved. Just to wrap it up, it says verse 43 again. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. We ain't the ones giving out loans. We the ones getting the loans, paying for the loans and stuff, going to school so we can get nothing but loans and stuff so we could pay back and whatnot, man. You know, it says, he shall be the head and thou shalt be the tail, meaning we's going to be the lower half, man. You know, verse 45, it says, moreover, all these curses, right? The word curse is the word kalal. It's the kalala. It's the ka, the la, and the ha, kalala. It says curse, vilification, execration. You know what I'm saying? You know, it says, this is what the Lord had put upon us. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, meaning until you die. So these curses going to be on you until you die, like white on rice. It says, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord, his prophets, thy power. It says to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And with us being a stiff-necked people and stuff, it's like somebody that's hard-headed. You got to keep telling them and keep telling them and keep telling them. That's why when you read the scriptures, you see how it's being repeated in different ways. The same point is being repeated in different ways, man. You know, verse 46, it says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed. So this is going to be the proof. It's the word sign is awath. It's the adawa tha awath, which means sign, signal, a distinguishing mark. You know what I'm saying? Like a landmark, banner, remembrance, like a sign, a miraculous sign, omen, warning, token, and sign, standard, miracle, proof. You know what I'm saying? So these curses are proof that we are the Israelites, man. You know, living in the ghettos, the slums. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? The word ghetto means dwelling place of the Jews. You know what I'm saying? That's the etymology of it and stuff, man. You know, so these curses are the proof that we are the Israelites. You know, and it's also other curses. Women that don't have their hair, who's bald head and stuff, got short hair when really they should have long hair that's touching their ass. You know what I'm saying? Or touching their feet. You know what I'm saying? Who should be having good smell and stuff, should be fit and whatnot. You know, who don't have no belly over they belt and stuff, or they belly in their pants and stuff. You know, making the cooch look fat and stuff, but really it's your stomach. You know, hey, guess what? Those are curses as well, but it just proves who the Israelites are, because it's going to land upon a certain type of people, man. You know, specific people, man. You know, men that's going bald and stuff. You know what I'm saying? At young ages and stuff. You know, that's effeminate and stuff, and you know. The women getting high over thee and stuff, according to Jeremiah 31:22. That's another affliction that the Lord had placed upon us and stuff, because it's backwards for what he had said, but he knew that it was going to be an affliction upon us. You know, it's going to be a curse. A curse means something bad that's happening to your life. You know, and that's what the Lord had placed upon us, man. You know, verse 46 again. It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be on our children and stuff. You know, our children coming out and they retarded, or they suffering some sort of illness and stuff. You know that's part of the curses. It says, because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. It says, therefore, let me see. What is this? Malachi. This is Malachi. Well, the scripture says, I hate when this happens. The scripture says in Malachi, where it says that when had the Lord loved us and stuff, because of the different afflictions that we go through and stuff. But it's because we had messed up against the Lord, and that's why he did it unto us. But it's still a sign. Verse 47. Deuteronomy 28:47, it says, because thou servest not the Lord, Yahweh thy power, with joyfulness and with gladness and of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. When it come down to the clothes and stuff, when you see in Jake's neighborhoods and stuff, who are the ones that's actually governing these businesses? You know what I'm saying? Now you might have Jakes that work in there and stuff, but they not the owner of the business. That's two different things. You will have Moab, the Chinese and stuff, selling you Chinese food and stuff, or Ammon selling you sushi and shit, you know what I'm saying, raw ass fish, abominable things, pork, blowfish and stuff, octopus and stuff with lemons, you'll have Esau in your areas and stuff, doing your taxes and whatnot and stuff, or got a tax company and stuff, man. We go to them for food. You got the Arabians, Ishmaelites and stuff, and they be selling you them old expired eggs and stuff, old expired milk and stuff, buying food from cheap other outlets and stuff like Food for Less and Aldi's, and bringing it in in their stores and stuff, and sell it for a higher price because it's more convenient, And the scripture says that they should be dwelling amongst their brethren, man. You know what I'm saying? And that is true. It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he had destroyed thee. What was that old fashioned yoke of iron and stuff? To be in that big old block of wood and stuff, you know what I'm saying, which you bent over or just sitting down wherever you please and stuff. And with your hands in the holes and your head in the hole, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't grab and feed yourself and stuff. You had other people. You needed other people to feed you, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a hindrance to be able to move freely. And what's the modern day way of moving a modern day yoke? Your social security card, your ID, your passport. You can't go nowhere and stuff unless you have those things. Those are hindrance, man. Your driver's license and stuff. You gotta have some sort of identification upon you in order for you to move here or be able to access this and access that, man. Which shows that we're not free, man. We're enslaved, man. The old yoke of iron. If you put in yoke of iron in Google and stuff, you'll see black people and stuff with they had a iron necklace and stuff, and they had like some hooks and stuff that come out from it and stuff in 4 different angles. Or you'll have the one where it had the bell, like you'll see all certain cartoons like Mulan, how she had tied a bone in front of the dog and stuff, you know what I'm saying, so he can always chase out there wherever you go to keep him occupied and stuff. Back then, it was a bell. So if you ran and stuff, the bell would ring. So it would let the higher ups or the soldiers and or the field patrols and stuff to know that that you was trying to run away or where you was at all times. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then for the ones that had the hooks that was coming out their yokes, you know what I'm saying? If you had to run through a forest and stuff, you wasn't gonna be able to slide or squeeze in between small narrow areas and stuff, meaning that you couldn't get away. You know what I'm saying? It was hindering you, man. And it's the same way till this day, man. You know, if you don't have Social Security, you don't have ID and stuff, what they'll do, they'll lock you up, man. You know what I'm saying? Or put you in holding. They'll hinder you from your freedom. And that's what that did back then. It's the same way today. Ecclesiastes 1:9. There's no new thing underneath the sun. It's all the same, man. You know? It says, it says, verse 49, it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And that's what happened, man. You had Esau that was coming to the different lands and stuff, and what he was doing, he was gathering result, man. You know, what is Esau's today? What are they? What's their emblem? The American bald eagle man. You know, verse 49, it says, the Lord shall bring, it's like it, verse 50, it says, a nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor shew favor to the young. And you see that, man. You know, even to this day, don't care if you're young, don't care if you're old and stuff, they gonna make you work. You know, especially if you're doing factory jobs or industrial, man. You know, they don't. It's like everybody else out here busting their ass. You gotta do the same. They don't have no remorse. Back then, in the ancient days, in the time of slavery and stuff, as soon as your child was able to follow instructions and be able to walk, they sent them out in the field to go pick cotton. So you got your baby over there picking cotton, talking about, oh, it hurts, I don't want to keep doing it and stuff. And what they do, they come around and stuff and grab that whip and whip your child's back until your child is just forced to go pick that cotton, right? You know what I'm saying? Which a lot of the children and stuff, they learn up until they're adults, and then have children themselves and stuff, and got to see the painful process that they had grew up in, man. It's the same way, man. Ain't nothing fucking changed, man. It's all the same shit, man. They don't care. They don't care. That's why you got old women and stuff doing security. Like, what they gonna protect, man? You know? They're not gonna protect anything and stuff. It didn't make any sense. You got old men, you know what I'm saying, that's security and stuff. And what can they protect? Without no gun, no taser, this, that, and the third. And nowadays, people are able to stand up when it come down to them tasers and still move around. So then what? You know? People can't even live off their 401ks or their retirements and stuff. So the older people got to go back into the workforce and stuff. And Esau like, you ain't coming up to par and stuff. So I gotta let you go. And it's like the motherfucker old though. He old. She old. You know she ain't at her top of the line in strength. You know this. You know what I'm saying? Well, you ready to discourage this person and stuff because they can't meet the status quo like everybody else. So you put them in a high efficient area and stuff like they're young or something, man. Just so you can get them fired and stuff, man. Because Esau, he likes to put tolls on people, man. You're going to get a toll put on you. 51, it says, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, nor wine, nor oil, or increase of thy kind, of flocks, of thy sheep, until he had destroyed thee. Meaning Esau is the Grinch, man. He's the literally Grinch, man. That Christmas special that comes on every year, guess what? The Grinch is actually Esau. He take everything that you have. He makes sure that if you got a job and you get paid, that he take taxes out of it. You know what I'm saying? If you get a check from winning the lottery, he takes taxes out of it. You winning free money, but he still take money, man. You know? That everywhere you go or live or anything that you buy and stuff, you getting taxed, that he getting a cut out of it, man. You know? That if you have a child, that you gotta pay for something that came out of you that's part of your own DNA, man. He making you pay for shit that's yours, man. That's like you spitting on the ground and him handing you a bill, man. You know, because the baby that actually grows in the womb of a woman is actually the sperm cell that's shot out of a man's nutsack, man. You know, he's making you pay for something that's yours, man. You know? He making you pay for water, something that's already created for everybody to use in the world, man. He making you pay for it, putting it in a bottle and taxing it, man. You know, he making you tax for food and stuff, man. You know, he making you tax for land and mortgage. Mortgage means a death note because you're going to pay that shit until you die, man. You know, he making you pay for every goddamn thing on earth. He making you pay to breathe, to have AC in your house or heating or central air. You got to pay for it. To live underneath a roof, you got to pay for it. And those that's out there who live outside the grid and stuff, they literally want to call them terrorists. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't tax them, man. You know, this man is the devil, man. He's an adversary, man. He's Satan, man. Physical counterpart of Satan, man. Always trying to bring some adversity upon you, man. You know, it says verse 52, it says, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy power hath given thee. And back then, in the Roman persecution and stuff, they quarantine us, you know, and also tells you that in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, starting at verse 14 on down, or you can read the whole entire chapter, how a man shall want to go into another city and not shall, and actually, I'm just gonna get it. This 2nd Ezra, because I'm trying to do this fast, but it's already been too long. This 2nd Ezra 15 verse. Verse 17, it says, a man, in the Apocrypha, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So they're going to cut everything off. And what is that cutting off? You know, this EMP, where you can't get your money and stuff if you got a debit card or credit card, where you ain't going to be able to pay your bills, where you ain't going to be able to go and travel nowhere and stuff because the trains, the CTA and stuff is all electronic. So if that get hit with an EMP, then that's go down. You know what I'm saying? Same way with the Metro and the Amtrak, because they all use electronics and stuff. That goes down. You know, the buses and stuff. If you got a car that's all electronic, that's an electric car and stuff, you shit out of luck. You know, cars they got gas and stuff. Who's to say that you know they go to these different little pumps that's all electronic and stuff where you don't have to go to the man and go into the clerk into the gas station and stuff just so he can press the button so the gas can flow. Hey, guess or even if you got to press a button for the gas to flow and stuff, everything electronic is just fried. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get no gas. You know, so you can't fill up your car with gas. You know what I'm saying? You know, your electronic appliances is not in your house. In your house, it's not working, man. You know. So it's like everything that's working within your area and stuff, you want to go somewhere else and stuff. But then even if you do get somewhere else and stuff, it's still the same thing. But majority of our people ain't gonna be able to go anything. You ain't finna be able to just slide up on no freight train and whatnot and stuff and go into another city because they gonna block all that shit off, man. They not finna let you go. You know, they gonna quarantine it like it's a sick disease, man. Like off I Am Legend and stuff, how they shot down those buildings so the disease wouldn't get over to the healthy and stuff, man. They gonna cut everything off, man. You know? And they show you that in the movie The Road as well, how it was a certain checkpoint you had to go to just so you could seek asylum, man. You know, because anything outside those large walls and stuff wasn't getting in, man. You know, meaning they quarantine, they cut it off, man. You know, so it's the same. It says, Verse 53, it says, "And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee." So if you ain't in if you inside the quarantine, you got the enemy cutting it off and stuff, where they cutting off your food supply. You see this when it come down to Trump. He getting messed up, and everybody else is, all these other countries, the EU and the NATO and the NATO, and they're no longer want to fuck with America and stuff. So guess what tends to happen? You have we get we live off the transatlantic slave trade and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The transatlantic trade, and the thing is that you got all these other countries and stuff where we get our fruits and vegetables. Even Trump, what he doing? He putting a wall over across the border of Mexico and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they can't get in, but we get fruits and vegetables from these places, different auto parts and different parts. What it's needed and stuff for cars and for houses and all these different things and stuff. And what are you doing? He cutting that off and stuff. Then that means that you're not bringing in anything. America is not self-sufficient and stuff. Look at GMC. Look at GMC, man. You know, America is not self-sufficient and stuff. So we live off the different trade that we do from the different countries and stuff, and Donald Trump is allowing that to be cut off, man. Why? Because when it come down to these bunkers, when all hell breaks loose out in these streets and stuff, guess what? He gonna be down in a bunker and stuff, living life and eating it up, man. You know what I'm saying? And watching Jake and stuff kill one another and stuff, and you low level Edomites and stuff that they don't care about, you know. Verse 54, it says, "So that the man, verse 53 again, it says, "And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons, and the daughters which the Lord thy power hath given thee." So guess what's going to happen? You're going to have cannibalism that's going to come. You know what I'm saying? The animals are already going through it. You know, they laying upon the humans to actually throw off a couple of pieces of bread so they can get something to eat, man. You know, you got you got birds and stuff that you could tell that they hallucinogenic and stuff, you know, and they thinking a twig for a worm, you know what I'm saying, you know, or thinking a twig for a fry or something like that and stuff, and they trying to eat it and stuff. I saw a pigeon that pretty much got ran over by a car and stuff, you know, because they be all in the way and stuff nowadays, you know, they don't even care. And he must have got ran over and stuff, and you had another pigeon that came over and started eating its remains because it was that hungry, man, you know. So if it's happening to the animals and stuff, it's going to happen to the people. These grocery stores, you got these different delivery truck companies and stuff, and what are they doing? They going out of business. You know what I'm saying? They filed for bankruptcy and stuff. So if you don't got no trucks to deliver, then it means there ain't finna be no food in your local grocery stores. And your mega Walmarts and your Targets and stuff. Ain't finna be no food in these places, man. You know, because the truck companies ain't getting paid. So they're going to go on strike, and then next thing you know, they're going to give out, man. You know, and if all the other countries don't want to deal and stuff, then that means you ain't finna have the freight boats and the boats that be carrying like massive freights of food and stuff going back and forth if they not getting paid. So everything's finna get cut off. Like the scriptures talk about how, pretty much roughly paraphrasing, how you gonna have faith in a green tree when the dry tree comes, because things finna dry up. You know, you go to your grocery store, you go to your Peace Markets, you know what I'm saying? You go to your Walgreens or whatever you go and stuff, I said that already. But you go to all these different grocery stores, your Food for Less, your Aldi's and stuff, you know, and you see that it's like, oh, everything is still good. You know, they still got piles of this and piles of that and stuff. But really what they did was that they shortened the length of the shells and stuff. So it still look like that it's real fattened up, but really it's not. You know, you got cows and whales and different fishes and stuff that's beaching themselves or dying and floating at the top of the seawater and stuff, you know, and the Lord is taking this food away, man. You got trees that's dying and stuff. You know, you got Esau that's taking away every goddamn it's like he's taking down every single fruit tree and stuff just to plant a regular tree right there for decoration and stuff. And there ain't no food out there. You don't got your what they call them, bilberries. You know what I'm saying? You got your blueberries and stuff, the little apples, little crab apples and stuff they used to grow on certain trees and stuff, the pear apples and stuff. You don't even got that no more because every fruit tree that was there, he took it away. You know? So it's gonna be a straight famine. This is this is Lamentations chapter 4 verse 19. It says it says it says not 4:19. It's like 4:9. It says so Lamentations 4:9. It says they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. You know, so it's better. It's better to be just shot to death. You know what I'm saying? Or get your head blown off by a sawed-off shotgun or something, or a 12 gauge and stuff, blowing a big hole in your chest like a hollow off bleach. You know what I'm saying? It says, for those pine away, stricken through for want of fruits of the field. Because what happens? You hallucinate. You're looking at your mans and stuff, and you think about turkey dinner or some Thanksgiving and stuff, and he smell like the stuffed turkey and stuff, and the smell ain't even there and stuff, but you really smelling the stuff. You know you going do mental phase and stuff, and you looking at your mans. They show you that in Tom and Jerry, man. You know how they be out in the desert and stuff, and then they mistake a palm tree for a vending machine and stuff. You know, or they look at their homie and stuff. How you had Tom looking at Jerry and Jerry looking at Tom like some turkeys and stuff, and they ready to devour, man, and don't realize that that's their homie, man. You know, or that's their man's, man. That stuff is gonna actually happen. You know, just keeping it short. Verse 54. It says, so the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. That's why when you go into a Hispanic neighborhood and you're a so-called Negro and stuff, they looking at you as GD or Blackstone or BGDN. You know what I'm saying? You know, or Vice Lord or something like that. You know, and then vice versa. Let the Hispanics come into the Negro area and stuff. You thinking they Latin King, Cobra, 2 6s. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think what they call themselves, kites or something, Mickey Cobras and shit, man. You know, Latin Kings and shit, man. You know, Razas and stuff, man. You know, it says, his eye should be evil towards his brother, man, meaning that you ready to kill him, put him to death. You know. It says, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, he shall leave. Now you really see this strongly amongst Southern Kingdom and stuff, where the husband is not in the lives of their children and stuff, man. Where you got a lot of single mothers, man. You know what I'm saying? But you also do see it in Northern Kingdom as well. But Northern Kingdom usually has the fathers still usually be there. You know what I'm saying? But you do have certain instances and stuff, especially amongst those of the nation of Ephraim, which is the Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? It says verse 55, it says, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat. It says, because he have nothing left him in the siege and the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee and all thy gates. So it also shows that it's not just going to be the women that's going to be trying to eat in their children and stuff. You know, it's also going to be the men that's going to be doing that, because it ain't nothing else. You know, this is Isaiah 9:20. It says, and he shall snatch on the right hand. It's like verse 19, verse 18, verse 17. It says, therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For every one is an hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. Folly is said in great dignity, according to Ecclesiastes 10:6. It says, which means foolishness. It says, for all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still, meaning the Lord is still having mercy and stuff. But hey, if you keep passing his hand up and smacking away, he gonna backhand your ass with some judgment. Verse 18, it says, for wickedness burneth as a fire, it shall devour the briars and the thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest. And they shall not, it's like it says, and they shall mount up like the lifting of smoke. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened. It says, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. It says, no man shall spare his brother, man. And it tells you that, and also in 2nd Ezra 6:24, that that friends shall fight against one another like enemies, man. You know, so all y'all that want to come back, it's like, oh, the Latinos need to stand together, or the blacks need to stand together and stuff. Hey, guess what? Y'all won't be fighting amongst yourselves, man. And they show you in every movie, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some elderly man and stuff who know much. You know what I'm saying? Who's looked upon as a leader and stuff. And it's gonna be some young buck talking about, man, he don't know what he talking about and stuff, and bring segregation and stuff, and then get the ones that follow him killed, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, or you seen that in Bury My Heart and Wounded Knee, man. You know what I'm saying? If I'm saying it correctly and stuff, it's a Gadite movie and stuff. You should watch it because it goes into how I think it was Red Cloud. If it wasn't Red Cloud, it was I think his name is Bullhorn. I don't. It's Bull something, and he was standing strong and stuff for their land not to be taken away. But his son was like, you know what, I'm finna just give in and stuff. And you had the Gadites, in that movie, you know what I'm saying, they have them on reservations and stuff, and it's like, look, I know how to hunt. And they had the cow within a pen where it can't really go nowhere, and he really wasn't hunting, but he thought he was, man. He was already mentally enslaved, man. You know, and it was a shame onto Bull, man. You know, Sitting Bull, that was his name. Y'all watching out the water. Sitting Bull was his name, man. You know, and a bull is a monstrous I mean, it's not a monster, but it's a monstrous animal and stuff that you don't want to get hit with. You know what I'm saying? So for a bull to be patient, it's a dangerous animal. Sitting Bull was dangerous. You know, back in Isaiah 19:20. It says, and he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. So people gonna be eating themselves, man. You know, not just their children. You know, they gonna eat themselves. Verse 56, it says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her husband, and her bosom of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. And that is true, man. You know, what do women do and stuff? They you know, they do stuff to themselves. They inflict themselves and stuff just to cause the man to go into jail and stuff because they had a little problem over some minor ass bullshit. And then next thing you know, the man in jail and stuff. And then they telling the children that he a deadbeat dad, but they the reason why he in there and stuff. And they not trying to reveal that. They just want to down the man and stuff because they got a problem against the husband and stuff, man. You know, you got a lot of innocent men that's out there locked up in jail or in prison or in the pen and whatnot and stuff, and off false charges because of their wives, man, or their girlfriends, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, which you women gonna pay for it eventually and stuff because then you ain't finna have no protection in that day. You know what I'm saying? You know, because you sent off your protection to die. You know, it also says that it says her eye shall be evil toward her husband and her bosom. It says toward her son and toward her daughter. And you see that in the movie Precious. You know what I'm saying? When you had old girl from the Parkers, you know what I'm saying? And she was the mother, and you had Precious being the daughter, and you had her husband and stuff, her boyfriend of Miss Parker and stuff. She was trying to deal with Precious, with her daughter Precious stuff, and he did. And all the mother did was look at it. It was like, you trying to take my boyfriend and whatnot, and not actually understanding what was going on, you know. So she was actually in competition with her daughter. And that's why the scripture says that you're not supposed to deal with the mother and the daughter in Leviticus, the 20th chapter, man. 20 and 13, or no, 20 and 14. You're not supposed to do that because it sets the mother and the daughter to be arch rivals and stuff when it's supposed to be harmony within a family, you know. And it says, verse 57, it says, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her knees that she gives birth to. It says, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all things secretly in the siege and straightness wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee in thy gates, because women are fickle, man. They're weak. They're the weaker vessel and stuff, you know. And what a woman gonna do? She's gonna go for the weakest one out of the group. You know what I'm saying? So you, what the elders say is like, if you put a frog in the water and stuff, while it's like lukewarm or you know, decently warm and stuff, and then you slowly turn up the heat, he won't know that he's being cooked. You know what I'm saying? But if you put a frog in hot water and stuff, he'll try to leap out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to happen to these women. They're going to be slicing up their white onion, their red onion and stuff, their carrots and stuff, their celery and stuff, you know, washing their own child and stuff. And their child just looking like, oh, this feels good and stuff, and wondering why their mother crying or their father crying and stuff. That's because they about to eat you, man. And it tells you that in 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, starting at the 21st verse, how it goes into how it was two women that bargained, how they was gonna eat one son and then another son on the other, and only one got eaten and stuff, got both mothers and stuff, but the other mother had hid her son, man. You know how they was eating, trading in their money and stuff for donkey's heads and for dove's dung, man. Meaning they was eating bird shit, man. You know, and eating the meat off a donkey's head, man, which is not a lot, man. You know, showing a sign of desperateness, man. And these are the curses, because also it's gonna come since we're within the last days, man. You know, money gonna fail, food gonna fail, man. You know, but the Lord's servant shall eat. So if you don't want to serve the Lord, you ain't gonna eat, man. You know, it says verse 58, it says, if thou would not observe to do all the words of the law that are written in this book, thou shalt that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy power. It says, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues and long continuous, and sore sickness and long continuous. It says, moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. So everything that happened in Egypt, with this being little Egypt, you know, Egypt again, you know, spiritually called Egypt according to Revelations 11 and 8, you know, all these things going to happen, man. Scriptures also says that the blood shall be towards a horse's bridle, which means mass death. You know, and not just for the government, not just for the police officers and stuff, but also the civilians. Verse 61, it says, also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And you got people out there in those other countries and stuff, they got limbs that's made out of trees. The calluses are so hard and stuff around their fingers and their toes and stuff that they can't pick up nothing, man. You know, that it hurts if it gets clipped off, man. You know, they literally growing trees. They trees, man. You know, you got people with diseases where their homes look like a honeycomb, man. I mean, where their flesh look like a honeycomb, man. You know, or they so crusty and so hard and stuff they can't even fucking open their eyes, man. You know, you got little babies that's born like this and stuff. You got a crusty baby coming out your legs and stuff, and it feel like a hard turd coming out your pussy, man. I mean, out your vagina, salaki for the sternness, you know. You know, you got kids that look like the baby off of Men in Black and stuff, when old girl was having a baby in the back of the station wagon and stuff, and was slamming Will Smith all over the place and stuff until she shot him off, and the baby had like different arms and different legs and stuff. You got Siamese twins. You know what I'm saying? You got people with two heads and two limbs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, all these extra body parts and stuff, man. You know. Verse 62, it says, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldst not obey the voice of the Lord thy power. It says, and it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoice over you to do you good and multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whether thou goest to possess it. This is Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. It says, and the Most High It says, and the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. It says, and it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. For now, all you women out there, it's like, see, it says, man, it means you too, because you are Israelite, stupid. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like you on the stupid, but for you women out there that really think that it doesn't apply to you, but you know you Israel, that's some foolishness, man. You know, that's real stupid, man. You know, it says verse 64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy father have known, even wood and stone. So we scattered to the four quarters of the earth. And what's part of that shame? That you got Israelites that look like heathens, man. You know? You got Israelites that look like Moab, Ammon, you know, Ishmael. You know, Moab is Chinese. Ammon is Japanese. You know what I'm saying? And you got the Vietnamese and the different kinds, man. The Koreans and stuff, man. You know? I ran into a Korean, a Gadite, a Native American Indian, really by spirit and stuff, because spirit bear witness that he was a child of the father and stuff, but he looked like a Korean, man. You know? You gotta look at China Mac, man. He a Jake, man. You know? You got a lot of Jakes and stuff that be singing that music and stuff, and they Jakes, man. You know? Ishmael. You know, you got Israelites that look like Esau, the hated of the hated, man. You know? You got certain Mexicans that look like Esau, that look like Caucasians and stuff, man, who got the blonde hair and blue eyes and stuff, man. That's a shame, you know. And that's part of the curses that the Lord placed upon us from being scattered to the four corners of the earth, not being in our own land, the land of milk and honey, man. You know, it says, verse 65, it says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, because you always working, always working. You know, people that do deliveries and stuff, they got to constantly be on that grind, man, for it to make it even like a regular job. And even if you do got a regular job and stuff, you find yourself on your feet. You know, you got people building up calluses and stuff and having foot problems and stuff, need to put more soles in their shoes just so they can be comfortable and stuff, or the boss at the job and stuff won't give you that rubber mattress and stuff so you could feel some sort of comfort on your feet standing for hours and stuff, putting buns on burger tops and stuff that's going to be shipped in TV dinners all across the world. You know, it says, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. It says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that word assurance is the word aman, it's the adaman ana, which means to support, confirm, be faithful, man. You know, and what's coming up back then in the seas and stuff, they didn't know if they was going to survive. You had dogs coming after them and stuff, babies crying and whatnot. You trying to shush the baby don't want to shush, don't want to cry and stuff. So then the dogs peep up the sound and stuff and come catch you and stuff, and all y'all being thrown in the pen. Or you see that the man get put to death and stuff, and the woman get ravaged and stuff, and the kid head get slammed on a rock and stuff that quickly silence the baby, because the troops and stuff are tired of hearing the cries of the baby and stuff, so they quickly put it to death. You know, or you see the death of your children in front of you and stuff, or you just sitting there while you seeing your children and your woman being ravished and stuff, and the rest of your family's being ravished, you know what I'm saying, or put to death right in front of your eyes before you get put to death, you know, and all these things finna happen again, man, you know, as you come down with great wrath, man, you know, and people are going to be scared, man. Verse 67 says, in the morning thou shalt say with the Most High, it were even. It says, at even thou shalt say with the Most High word morning, for the fear of thine eyes wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou see, man. You know, because you got Project Megiddo, you got the King Alpha plan, you know, you got the Rex 84 and stuff where they're planning to, when Esau is planning to use his troops to come against you, man. Come against you, Israelites, man. Even if you don't know the truth, even if you don't want to be part of the truth, if you down for any religion and whatnot and stuff, or even if you're not down for a religion, they still have plans to take you people out, man. You know, because if you come against their new world order and you ain't down for it and stuff, you're going to be labeled as terrorists. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be the Hebrew Israelites. It's going to be only labeled as terrorists and stuff. It's going to be anybody that rejects the new world order, man. If you ain't down for it, they're going to put their foot in your ass, man. You know, this is Revelations chapter 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein, dwell in them. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, meaning the people. It says, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So these devils, they know that their time is going to be up, man. You know, they know that their time is going to be up, so they're gonna come down with great wrath, man. That's why they got all these military and stuff, like the movie the Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff that recently came out. The only reason why they brought that out and stuff because they showing and flashing out what they gonna use in Jacob's Trouble, man. They got robots and stuff that can mimic the actual walk of a human, man. You know what I'm saying? And all they gotta do is come up with that covering and whatnot and stuff. You think it's a whole human and stuff, and they show you that in the movie Transformers, when you had that blonde girl who's actually was a Decepticon and stuff, and she was out there trying to kill Wiki, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is Shia LaBeouf. You know, she was trying to kill them, man. You know, and she was an AI, and they got that, man. Artificial intelligence, they got that already, man. You know, they ready to make their move, man. You know, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, starting at verse 70, I believe. It says verse 70, right? In Apocrypha, it says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Insurrection means rebellion. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? It's going to be a great rebuttal when it comes down to the nation of Israel and those that believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? Not just for not just so like it's going to be a rebuttal against Israel and stuff, but not just the ones that believe in the truth wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? According to John the 4th chapter, but also those who are actually Israelites, period, man. You know, because Esau, he scans this, you know, he scans what you do, what you like and stuff, and he sees the signs and stuff because of the prophets. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the prophets are just here to let you know who you are, so you can have a chance of being saved if you hear this word, if you hear his voice. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they're gonna come against a lot of you other different groups and stuff that's not down for the world order, man. You know. Verse 71, it says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be the trial, man, when we being tossed in the FEMA camps for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? You know, for salvation, man, for the Lord's word, for the Lord's name, for his name's sake, man. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be trying to put us to death, man. You know what I'm saying? You can read that in First Maccabees, the 7th chapter, when it came down to 7 Maccabees brothers. You know what I'm saying? You can read that in Daniel's the 3rd chapter, when it came down to Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. You know, you can also read that in Daniel's the 6th chapter, when it came down to Daniel being put in the lion's den. You know, for the sake of the Lord, man. And it's all going to come again. Why? Once again, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Let me grab this right quick, and then I'm going to finish it up. This is Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. It says the thing that have been, it is that which shall be. It says, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing underneath the sun. So the things that happened back then is going to happen again, man. 70 AD, the persecution of the Romans. And guess what? The Romans are the Edomites today, man. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? They're going to persecute us again. They doing it already and stuff with that New Jersey stuff, trying to link us to terrorism and stuff, man. And the Project Megiddo, Rex 84, and the King Alfred plan and stuff, how they want to come against Jake, you know what I'm saying? Or the potential Jakes that look like heathens and stuff, who are really Israelites and stuff, man, that's within these different groups. They want to come against that. They seek blood, man. They pursue at the blood, according to Ezekiel 35, man. The 35th chapter, man. Now bringing for this last verse, last verse. It says, verse 67 again, it says, in the morning thou shalt say, would the Most High were evening? You're going to ask the Lord. It's like, Lord, please, be able to let me see the evening, nightfall and stuff. Would I be able to see nightfall? You're going to be in doubt. It says, in that even thou shalt say, would the Most High were morning? Same way. It's going to be nightfall and stuff. And you hearing guns blazing, glass shattering and stuff, clapping all over the place and stuff. Women over there moaning at the top of their lungs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Babies crying and then quickly being put to silence and stuff, man. It says, for the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, remember, when it came down to Moses bringing us out of Egypt, Exodus means exit. You know what I'm saying? When we was exiting Egypt, you know what I'm saying, we walked to Jerusalem, man. You know what I'm saying? So it says to bring you again into Egypt with ships, And remember, when we was brought into ships and stuff, we was brought over taken away from the Americans and stuff, over to Europe and all that. You know what I'm saying? And back and forth, They took the Northern Kingdom first, man. The Puerto Ricans, the Taino Indians, you know what I'm saying? The Ephraimites, which is a biblical name, and then the Dominicans, you know what I'm saying, in Central America and all that area and stuff, bringing them over to Europe and shit, taking them away from the Negroes to the Judites and stuff, and the Benjamites and the Haitians and stuff, you know what I'm saying, the Judites, the Benjamites, and the Levites and stuff, and taking them over from Africa and stuff, and bringing them further west, you know what I'm saying, to enslave them when they already colonized the Americas, you know what I'm saying, taking the land away from Gad and Reuben, and Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, So we got transported with ships, the transatlantic slave trade, man. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things that was being traded and stuff was slaves, and that was us. You know what I'm saying? So it shows that America is spiritually called Egypt, man. It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. It says, meaning our homeland. It says, in homeland is Jerusalem. It says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And we go into that word buy, it's the word quanah. It's the qua, the na, the ha, which means to get, acquire, create, buy, possess. It says, number one, it says to get, acquire, obtain. It says of the Most High, or originating. It says creating, redeeming his people, man. So we weren't going to get redeemed, man. We weren't going to get redeemed. We weren't going to get saved, man. We was going to be in that mess. We was going to be in that jam, man. And 12 years of slave, the different movies and stuff that they have, of how we was in slavery and stuff, it's all here, man. It's all here, man. This is one of the main scriptures right here that prove that Jake was enslaved, man. All that history and stuff, and when it come down to the history books and stuff, when you're growing up in school, you was learning about you being enslaved, and guess what? The Bible says that this was going to happen, and it did happen, man. Until this day, it's still happening, man. you know. And I hope this video was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Waharachak Kodash. Double honors to apostles of great millstone and salutations to your elect, which you hold to be. Shalom and Abba Babal.